Hey folks, Sam Basu here from Uno Platform. So Uno Platform is the most flexible open source stack for you to build cross-platform .NET apps that run everywhere from a single shared code base. And speaking of flexibility, we want developers to be able to build modern .NET apps on any OS, any IDE, and any AI agent. And we hear some of you cool kids really like Cursor. So let's take a look at how you get started with Uno Platform, design and AI tools, and Cursor. So if you're brand new, start out at platform.uno. That's going to tell you all about what we do and how we do things. And then whether you are on Windows or macOS, get Cursor. Cursor is actually very familiar or similar to VS Code. So get signed in, get situated. The next thing you want to do is head back over to our docs. And we spend a lot of time to make sure this is nice and set up for you. So if you look at Get Started here, this tells you all the different IDEs that we support. Get down to Cursor, and it's going to tell you to run this Uno check tool. This is a command line tool. So essentially, when you build a Uno platform app, it's a cross-platform app that runs on iOS, Android, Windows, Linux, macOS, WebAssembly. So that's a lot of things. So we do depend on those SDKs to build a truly native cross-platform app. So run Uno check, get the bits, and get all situated. And then the next step would be how you actually create a new Uno platform app. There are multiple ways of doing it. The simplest is command line. So what I like doing is coming down here to new.platform.uno. And from here, I can choose blank or recommended templates. I can choose my runtime. I can choose the platform targets, presentation layer, markup, theming, lots of different things. And at the end of it, when I hit create, it's going to give me a big command line to run. And I run that, and I have a .NET project that is my Uno platform project that just goes everywhere. Or you can just start with the bare bones here, which is what I've done here. So in my terminal, you'll notice that I have created a folder called Uno Cursor, and I've just done a .NET new Uno app. Now, this is the absolute bare bones, gives you an empty Hello World project that just says Hello Uno Platform, nothing else. So I have that project scaffolded and running. So let's go back into Cursor. And we're going to open up that project here and show you a couple of things. So first up, this is a pretty standard Uno platform project here. So you will have your global usings, your configurations, all of it is in here. Main page.xaml, this is the first view. As I told you, this just says Hello Uno Platform, nothing else to it. These are my platform-specific folders if I wanted screenshots or anything platform-specific, but ideally I want everything to be cross-platform. And then since you created this with the .NET CLI, I do still get that VS Code project. In here are my launch.json file, which tells you, the compiler and the IDE, like here's how you run it. This is a multi-targeted project. So here's how you run it on iOS, on Android, on WebAssembly, on desktop, and so on. So that helps. And then there's also tasks.json, which essentially tells the compiler, like, here's what to do on a build task when you run that project. So once I have all of this, before I go into anything else, let's go into run and debug. You can see like it's reading that same configuration files here. So let's do desktop here, and I'm going to quickly run this empty app. And it fires up, and here's my app running. It has nothing but other than saying hello Uno Platform here. And now notice here, I can still go into hot design. This is our design surface. So I can go in here. I get a UI toolbox to bring in all of my UI that I need from my app in drag and drop. I get a visual tree. Once I select on any particular element, I get a properties window. And any changes that I make here to the design surface, it syncs back to my IDE. So that's the design mode. And then I can go into an agent mode. This is the hot design agent, still in preview, but great for you to play around. Here you can say, change up this button, or give me a login screen, make me a collection of things. And the AI agent will spin up, and it has all the knowledge of our docs, and it's going to spin up the UI that you need. You can iterate on this as you go along. But this experience is the same no matter where you're running your Uno platform app. So let's go back to our IDE here, which is in Cursor. A couple of things to note here is, let's go back in here. First thing is, the thing that you all like about Cursor is the AI agent, right? So let me disconnect debugging, and let's pull up the AI chat here. So AI agents are great, but you don't want them to run blind. You want them to have all the context, and that is something we bring through what we call MCP servers, right? So let's go into Uno Platform Studio here, look at some Uno MCPs. So we have two MCP servers. This one's remote. It tells you all about how to search for docs, how to initialize projects. It's got a handful of tools here. And then we have the app MCP. This is great for interactivity. So your AI agents have that much more confidence in the app stack that you're building on, and it can take screenshots. It can take, it can press on keys. It can interact. It can enter text. So all of the interactivity pieces are done for you and available to you as an MCP tool. So you want the Cursor agent to have access to this. And we actually have this documented. If I go into creating your first app here, let's go into Cursor. And this is essentially what you want. So you want the .cursor folder. So it's a hidden folder, so Cursor reads it. And then you want to create an mcp.json. So I've already done that. So let's go back to Cursor. Here's my Cursor folder, and here is my mcp.json. So let's collapse this for a second. mcp.json essentially points to our MCP server, and this one here is the local MCP. With that, your Cursor agent should have the tools that it needs. So here is my agent backup. You can do it in Ask mode as well. Auto is your choice of large language models. If you know, in particular Opus or Sonnet or GPTs work for you, go ahead and choose that, or keep it at auto, and it's going to figure out the best thing. So before we do anything else, we're going to ask, do you have access to UNO platform MCP tools, right? So we are essentially checking to see if the Cursor AI agent is going to read that mcp.json, and is it going to be grounded with the context about all things UNO platform. So it's planning its next move and trying to figure out what it has, and it says, yes, I do have access to your MCP tools. Here is a whole bunch of documentation tools, so I can search, I can fetch, I can initialize. And here is my application testing or interactivity tools, so I can take a screenshot, I can get a visual tree, I can interact with the app, I can click on elements, I can press keyboard keys, I can type in text, and I can trigger automation. So this is great for the AI agent and gives you more confidence. And in here, like if you say, bring me a screenshot and make my app, UNO platform app, look like this screen, it's going to go ahead and do that. And then it's going to iterate, it's going to test to make sure that your app interacts and looks exactly the way you want. So this is us giving your AI agents eyes and hands so it can interact, and it's grounded in the UNO platform docs. So once you have this, you're all set up. Go work with your Cursor AI agent to your heart's content and build up your UNO platform app. It's actually very similar to VS Code, and we will update our docs to have formal support for Cursor. But as you can see, everything works. One other thing I will point out is in your Cursor, one other thing you want to do is, let's open up a terminal here. And if I go back to the docs, so here it says, hey, DNX dev server. So this is a little thing that we run behind the scenes to make sure your IDE and your design surface are in sync. So go ahead and run that from your terminal. And this is just going to run and say, hey, I know you, who you are. I can see that you have access to hot design, hot reload, MCPs, all of that. So just make sure dev server is running. Otherwise, you are all set to go build amazing UNO platform, cross-platform .NET apps with UNO platform. Use all of our design and AI tools, and use your Cursor AI agent to your heart's content. And let's go change the world. So that's it about getting started with UNO platform and Cursor. And thanks a lot for watching. We can't wait to see what you build with UNO platform and Cursor. All right, thank you.